Hey Webelos, welcome back for our second Den meeting here in March. As always, I'm your Den leader, Sheldon. If you could please stand for our Pledge of Allegiance, Scout Oath, and Scout Law.
All right. Scout salute. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 2. Please join me in the Scout sign and repeat the Scout oath. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country and to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. Please join me in the Scout law. A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. 2.
All right, Webelos, we're gonna have so much fun today. We're actually gonna go outside and check some stuff on our vehicles and a bicycle. For our vehicles, we're gonna learn how to change a tire, and we're gonna see if blinkers work and how to check those, and even our windshield washer fluid. And with our bikes, we're gonna have lots of fun learning how we can pump up the tires, a bike station we have here at our base camp. So many fun things. Come on and join me outside. All right, Webelos, my favorite thing to do is really go for bike rides, especially here in Minnesota. We have nice weather. Even during the winter, we go on bike rides. It's so much fun. One of my favorite merit badges to do when I was an older scout was definitely the biking merit badge. But before we go biking, even in Cub Scouts, we want to make sure our bike is a certain way before we go on there. For instance, every single bike before we go biking in Scouts needs to have a bell. Let's see if you can hear my bell. That definitely works right there. And if you notice on the front of my bike, I have a little reflector right here. This reflector is so that way if a car's coming at me, they can see me. I also have one on my back, so if they're coming behind me, they can still see me. So those are really important things to do. The next important part is always, I have a big head, so I need to make sure I have a big helmet to protect my big head. If you notice, this helmet right here, Scouts, has this little visor out in front of it. This visor is really important because last time I fell flat on my face. But my visor helped me because it stops you when you hit the ground. That visor is going to break first, allowing my face to definitely be saved. If you look at other things important on our bike, it's always our brakes. So before I go bike riding, I always check my brakes to see if they work. As I squeeze my brake handle here, I'm looking down at my tire to make sure that both my brakes on either side of my tire are definitely working. Then I squeeze my back brakes as well. I look at those, and they're definitely braking as well. Now that we have our brakes checked and they're good to go, there's one thing every scout needs to remember. If your brake don't work, how do I fix it? Well, I've got this handy dandy brake and line fixer. There's an air pump on here. It's so cool. It's over here at our office here at Northern Star Scouting. If you notice, there's a bunch of tools over here. If my brakes maybe aren't tight enough, I can grab one of our handy dandy tools over here and I can move down to this little notch right here where it fits in, and I can twist it to make the brakes either stronger, or maybe if they're too strong, I can loosen my brakes up, making sure that when I brake, I know I'm braking either fast or I'm braking slow. It's really important. If something's wrong with my bike, if my bell's not working right, or if my front flasher isn't working right, I can fix it all right here with this station. The last thing I like to do before I move on to tire pressure is making sure my seat is at the right height. Now, we don't want our bicycle seat to be all the way to the ground, because that would definitely hurt me as I bike. And I'm not 6 feet tall like our awesome den leader Ben, so this is too high for me. So I need somewhere in the middle. The best place to find it is where your hip rests. So my hip is right here, so that's where I want my seat. About right here is where my hips are. I close it off. I kind of test it to make sure it won't fall in, and then I know I'm good. The next step I'm gonna move on to is checking my tires. So when you want to check your tires, if you don't have a pressure gauge, you can always just use your hand. So what I like to do is I like to squeeze it. If I can squeeze it really easy with my hand, then I definitely need some tire pressure. And there's a pressure gauge on this pump with our tire station as well. If I move back to my back tire, I I can really squeeze this one. It's really flat. So I definitely have to pump these tires up before I can go on my biking adventure. All right, Scouts, so I've already done my front tire, so now I'm gonna go ahead and do my back tire. One thing to always know is how much pressure or air pressure or PSI should I put in my tire? Well, on the inside of your tire ring, right here, it actually tells you how much pounds per PSI we put inside of our tire. Mine right here says minimum of 40, maximum of 65. So as I pump this up, you're gonna notice a little gauge. There's 20s and it goes up by 2s. I'm gonna look at the 20s and I want it to hit 40, and about 50 is where I really want it to hit. I don't wanna go all the way up, but I don't wanna go all the way low. All right, Scouts, my tire pressure is good, my brakes are checked, my bell is ringing, my lights are shining, my helmet is ready. Let's go ahead and let's get out of here so we can do some bike riding. We always wanna make sure our chin strap connects all the way underneath. It's nice and tight. All right, we shake it, so that way I know I'm ready to go. See you guys later.
All right, Webelos, so today we're gonna explore a little bit of what a mechanic would do and some things that adults should do when they wanna check out if their vehicle is safe to drive. So let's head inside the vehicle. I've got a checklist of some of the things that we need to look through. So come with me. All right, Scouts, we're in our van now, and I've got a checklist here, so let's run through some of the things that we need to take a look at. First off, we need to make sure that it starts. All right, so we know it works. Please start. A couple things we need to check are if the headlights, the blinkers, the brake lights work. We're also gonna have to step outside. We'll check our oil level, the coolant level. We gotta make sure our seat belts work. So let's do that right now. All right, and our seatbelt works and it's secure. And then the final things we'll have to do outside is check if there's any damage to the vehicle and note that. And then we'll also take a look on the inside if there's any damage. All right, so the first thing that we need to check is if our headlights work. All right, those look good. Now let's check our blinkers. And our blinkers seem to be working. And now I'm going to press on the brake and check our brake lights. All right, and I don't see any other lights on our dash to worry about. So I think we'll double check our oil level and our coolant level. But so far right now, I'm not getting any signs that those are low. So that's also good. All right, and now we've got a list here of some other things that I have with me. I've got a fire extinguisher. I've got my tire pressure gauge. I've got a first aid kit. I've got a whisk broom to get off any snow. And I've also got our binder that has our insurance information for the van in order so that we can be safe while driving. All right, so now we're gonna turn off our van and we're gonna head out under the hood and take a look, and we're gonna check our oil level, we're gonna check our coolant level, and we're also gonna make sure we have plenty of washer fluid in our engine. So let's go out and take a look. All right, now let's pop open the hood and take a look at some of the fuel levels we need to check. All right, so we check our coolant level. There's plenty of fluid in our reservoir, so we know that's good. The next thing we're gonna check is our engine oil level to make sure there is oil on the dipstick, knowing that there is oil safe for the engine to operate. All right, I can see oil on the dipstick, so that's good. So we know that there is enough engine oil in our engine in order for us to operate it safe. And the final thing we're gonna check is our windshield washer fluid level. That can be really, really important to make sure we have a clean windshield so we can see where we're driving. And I see plenty of washer fluid inside, so I think we're okay there. All right, so we've checked all the things that we need to check, and our van is in safe working order, so I think we're ready to head out.
Today, I'm going to change a tire. This one is flat. What do I do? First, I'll open the trunk and grab my tools. This is a tire iron. This is called a jack crank hook. It will go into the jack to crank it. And this is a scissor jack. This will go under the car. I'll twist here and the car will lift up. I always make sure that the car is in park with the emergency brake on. But wait, is it safe? Yep, there's no moving traffic and I'm on a flat surface. Before I jack up the car, I'm going to crack the lug nuts loose. It can be hard. Now that they're loose, it's time to raise the car. The jack will sit neatly into these grooves right here. With the jack in place, it's time to start cranking. Now the tire is up off the ground. Ta-da! Next, I'll remove the lug nuts. But careful not to lose them. I make sure I always know exactly where they are. With the lug nuts removed, the tire comes right off. The spare tire is usually kept in the back or under the car. Now, I put the spare tire on and replace the lug nuts. Woo! I tighten all the lug nuts with a lot of pressure. With the tire on and the nuts replaced, I can lower the car. I always replace my tools. Let's drive.
Hey Webelos, thank you for joining me today. It was so awesome how we got to do maintenance on vehicles and bicycles. Who knew we could do all that, Webelos? Well, now you know how to do it as well. So thank you guys for joining me today. It was so much fun. Make sure you guys join us next time when we talk about camping. Should be interesting. See you guys later. Bye.